Hello, it's the WMMA Today podcast with Steve and Drake. That's Drake, I'm Steve.
Yep.
We have a lot to talk about. There's some featherweight news. There's a massive atomweight title fight. Champion versus champion title fight that just broke today. Kind of broke. And then we'll have recaps from Combate 35, UFC Fort Lauderdale, Bellator 220, which Drake and I were both at, and then a strawweight tournament in Invicta, and UFC Ottawa, one fight at UFC Ottawa. We'll start off with the big atomweight fight at Ryzen 16 on June 2nd. It's Invicta FC atomweight champion Jin Frey. She will be taking on Ryzen atomweight champion Ayaka Hamasaki in a rematch.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, in the works, still not totally official yet, but I think it's definitely going to happen, as we were saying before we went on air. As soon as
It better fucking happen.
I know, right? This
better not be some bullshit.
This is the fight, the rematch to make at atomweight. I mean, it's in my opinion, the number one, the best of all time at atomweight, Ayaka Hamasaki versus the number three, one of the also best of all time at atomweight, Jin Frey. Yeah, man. Since Jin defended her title and Ayaka became the inaugural Ryzen champion, this was the one to do. Let's figure out a way to make this rematch happen, because that first fight, man, Jin was looking really good, arguably winning the first round and a half, until she got that cut, the really bad cut on the side of her eyebrow, which ended
right there.
Bummer. Speaking of that, we'll get into cuts later. But yeah, so happy that this fight is, hopefully going to happen. Very optimistic. I think it will. It doesn't get much better than that. I mean, the story that's there, the new element of the ring, 3 years later, there's just so much that's changed, I mean,
they've both gotten so much better.
Yeah.
But I think Frey has really elevated herself since that first fight. Hamasaki's good. I mean, as she's always been good. Frey, she's gotten a lot better.
I don't know if I would say it in that way. I mean, obviously she has gotten better. She's the champion now, of course. But man, Ayaka, she's really torn it up too since leaving Invicta. But either way, I mean, it's such an intriguing fight. Even just the matchup, forget about the recent success. Just the matchup by itself is one that makes for an interesting rematch.
And it's champion versus champion.
Yes.
From two different organizations, promotions, Invicta and Ryzen. Ryzen is doing it again. They're working with another company. Now it's Ryzen. Now it's Ryzen and Invicta.
Well, you know what? That's a tricky thing. This is something I was thinking about pointing out, but I was saving it for here. So here's a little refresher of some news for everybody. Jin's last fight, the Grew Center rematch, was actually the last fight on her contract. So she, obviously still is going to get, the label of the Invicta champion. She's the lineal one either way, whether she's vacating or not, whatever. There's none of that that's even being thought about yet. But the point is, this could be a move for Jin, maybe a one fight deal, something like that. Who knows? Either way, it's not like this might not actually be a collab between Invicta and Ryzen. It could be Jin is going over because she's a free agent, because that last fight was, I feel like that's the most likely option, considering the last fight was the last of her contract. Yeah. So either way,
still champion versus champion.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that's still a selling point, and it's not a lie.
And honestly, I think Invicta would probably say go ahead.
Oh yeah, Shannon's cool like that. She let Kaufman go to the PFL.
Yeah, exactly.
100% she would. But I'm just saying, I don't know if that's exactly the case here. I'm doubting that is, but that's totally a reasonable thought to have. But I really love this, besides the fact that it's a great rematch and fight. I really love it, though, because it gets Jin into the Ryzen mix no matter what. It sets up potential future fights with fucking Kana and Rana, dude. Oh, get some more goodness there, because the top of the atomweight class
That's where they are.
worldwide. It's in the east of the world.
Right.
It's in Asia.
Yeah.
So Ham's over there, who Jin's already fought. So is Ayaka. Um, Dude, it just makes it so much better having one of the face of the atomweights in North America making the way over. I mean, it's great. This is what we want to see.
It's a phenomenal matchmaking by whomever. I mean, Ryzen and Invicta, or just Ryzen by themselves.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it's like we said, it is a champion versus champion. Plus, it's a rematch.
Yeah, I
A
mean,
few years later.
it just doesn't get a lot better. It's perfect. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, I
Love
agree. All right, so Julia Budd, the Bellator featherweight champion, she signed a new long-term contract, which is great for her. I mean, she deserves everything that she's going to get from Bellator. She's done so much for them, and I mean, they've stuck by her, which is amazing.
Yeah, man. I mean, she's obviously the face of the division, the champion, one of
Right.
the best featherweights in the world, and also of all time. We're talking a lot about greats here on this episode. Some of the best, the best. Yeah, it's just great to see, her getting taken care of, even though I'm sure she was before, but
Yeah.
just keeping her locked down.
But I mean, she is 35 years old, so
she'll probably end her career there.
I mean, you can end your career at 35 years old, and she's already one of the best featherweights ever, Yeah. But she's signed a new contract, which is amazing for her.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like she's not too close to retiring, honestly.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think so at all. I think she has a lot left.
Mm-hmm. Did you get that vibe from talking to her?
Yeah, and you know damn well that she wants that big fight against like Cyborg or whomever else is coming.
Yeah,
down the pipeline for Bellator, because Bellator is definitely pushing this division.
Oh yeah, that's been obvious since day one, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's like that'll just be interesting to see how who she gets, and hopefully she does get one of those big fights. Cyborg hinted at some news lately, but it's interesting development with her. Might actually be staying with the UFC. We'll
I hope she goes to Bellator.
I know.
I really do. I really hope that Bellator is pulling some strings and getting her over there, man. Give her what she wants, dude.
I know. That would be great. But I don't know. We'll see.
And then even though Cyborg wouldn't be a champion, that's still like a super fight.
Yeah, it's one of those fights that it's been on the minds of it's on people's minds, been on people's minds for years, because they were
for probably like 4 years now.
Maybe longer than that, because I think that there was times in both Strikeforce and Invicta where they were very, very close to fighting. Might have even been matched up at one point. I'd have to check Tapology here, but I know that they were definitely on a collision course. I actually think, if my memory can be right, I think that if Cyborg versus Van Duyn was supposed to be Cyborg versus Bud. I think.
Yeah.
Let me check that. I have to look it up now. But either way, it's just one of those fights we need to see before they're done, man. Oh, that's like...
And they're both about the same age, right?
Yeah. Cyborg might actually be like 33, like a couple of years older. But I know it's one of those, what's a good comparison matchup? I don't know, one of those ones that, like, I guess Fedor and Barnett's another one you could think of. Like, we were literally almost at it. Probably even not going to now, but we could. Yeah, we'll see. I hope so. That was just to throw Cyborg in the mix there. Let's see. But speaking of featherweights,
yeah, there's another. The UFC actually signed a featherweight, which is surprising. Caught me by surprise. I was like, what? Zara Ferran dos Santos. She's a 6-2 fighter from France. The UFC signed her this past week. Don't know any details or anything. She doesn't have a fight lined up or anything. They signed her.
Yeah. I mean, maybe she does have one that's yet to
Maybe
be
she does have
announced.
one, but it just wasn't announced
Could
exactly.
you imagine if she was fighting
Cyborg.
Cyborg?
It crossed my mind
I'd be
when
so pissed off.
I saw that she was signed, and I was like, "Shit, I hope it's not Cyborg." But who the fuck else is it gonna be? Megan
That's
has a
a,
fight,
yeah, that would be some fucking bullshit.
and then Cyborg has been hinting at a new fight. It's like, dude,
And Dana has been hinting at a new fight for her. Like, when they finally started to get a division going, and then they keep her around after she's not champion anymore, and they fucking do the same stuff that they've been doing with her, kind of,
right.
like, come on, guys, what are we doing here? That is complete speculation, everybody.
Yeah, but we don't know if that's what it is.
I,
And
I
hopefully, that isn't what it
fuck.
is.
Yeah. Jesus. That
Because is it really worth it for Dos Santos to be signed to the UFC?
that's not the best debut to have, especially when they're actually starting to build the division.
Right.
Yeah, I would, if I was her, I would, if they don't have somebody else ready, I would want to wait for like Bea and Duda Santana to play out, which is like next month, I think. So not a long wait. Just like, I can't imagine that being it. Maybe, fuck. Just that whole thought's got me thrown off.
I mean, Cyborg just annihilates, so it's tough. It's tough for just about anybody that fight.
Yeah, no kidding. And the fucking Cyborg coming off a loss, get me out of there.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, great to see. Great to see that UFC's still trying. They're actually bringing people.
Yeah, but
Hopefully
I think she's like 33, 32, 33. It's not like they're bringing younger.
they're taking whatever they can get at this point.
Exactly.
Bellator's got it all locked down.
Exactly. Bellator took everything, so they're kind of getting the scraps now. But they have the biggest name.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they might have the biggest name
Yeah.
in Cyborg.
Yeah. Man, I know. It's just when the options are limited. Like there's a couple people out there. Like Cindy just recently got back in the win column, but they absolutely do not want her at all. They've made that completely evident. But then we got Caitlin Young, who we were talking about before this. Caitlin was actually going to fight Zara before some visa issues. Actually, it wasn't injuries or anything. Visa issues pulled her out, and then Sarah Patterson came in at Invicta. Was that 33? I think. But yeah, Caitlin, the people out there that the UFC can pull that are like notable. You got Caitlin, Pam Sorensen, Kolesnik. There are options to match up with Zara here that don't have to be Cyborg. Yeah, I mean, the point is, good to see they're still trying, because that's
trying.
that's a little effort, A for effort in this case.
We'll see what they do with Cyborg, if they're able to sign her or not. If they lose her, then what is that division? Once again, what is that division if they lose her?
Yeah, if they do, I don't. I was thinking, like, who the fuck could Cyborg be hinting at in the UFC? Like her news of hinting at a fight. The only person that would make sense it would be a bantamweight or Zara. At the moment, like,
you can't be a bantamweight.
Exactly, either of those are step backs.
It could be a bantamweight, but I mean, what bantamweight other than Amanda Nunes? Amanda Nunes is fighting Holly Holm.
Yeah, I don't know if Cat's healthy now, and I don't see the point.
No,
that's just ridiculous.
Plus, they should just run back Megan Anderson and Kat Zingano anyway.
Yeah, I mean, maybe after the Felicia fight,
right?
Which, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at it then either, depending on what happens with the Nunes and the title. Apparently, Nunes, wants to actually defend again after this Holly fight.
Yes, but does she want to fight Cyborg?
She did. She said that was maybe the idea.
I mean, it makes sense. Why not? I think Cyborg is owed that.
Absolutely. No fucking doubt about it. Should have been instant for her case.
Should be right now instead of a Holly Holm.
Yeah, exactly. But politics.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So moving on to the recaps, we're going to go with Combate 35, which was last Friday night. Some really good fights. It was mostly a card of women's fights, which was awesome. Melissa Martinez beat Carolina Gallardo. Round 2, vicious, dirty, filthy
Ah,
knee,
it
and
was
then she
so
and
nice.
then she ended up punching her, and finished her. But that knee,
Dude, that was smart how she threw that there, man. That
yeah, it
was some
was.
fight IQ, some awareness, really.
Oh, she's a knowledgeable fighter. Yep,
Yeah, definitely one to
and
still,
she's a beast.
obviously, man, that was gnarly.
Yeah, she's a beast.
But unfortunately, that was the only fight that I got to see there. So,
So Kira Batara beat Francis Hernandez by armbar in round 2. I would love to see Batara and Martinez fight each other. I think that has to be done now. It's like a collision course between the two.
mhm.
They Combate is really good with matchmaking. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be a big fight for them
Just a matter of
down the
time,
line.
really. Yeah.
And then Gloria Bravo Barrios beat Paulina Granados by unanimous decision. It was pretty unanimous.
Mhm.
Barrios looked really good in that fight.
Nice.
The thing that I took away from that card was how good Melissa Martinez is.
Wait, you're not Tito?
Yeah,
The
and
Tito signing?
Tito's coming back in October, evidently.
I had to say something about that. Oh my god, how ridiculous. But yeah, definitely. Super Melly keeps on keeping on.
Yeah, she's so good. She is so good. But Batara is amazing too. They're both so good for Combate.
Do you think they'll try and reset up the Magana fight first though?
Um, I don't think
Maybe
they should.
give
I
Magana time and make this fight in the
I,
meantime.
I think that Magani needs quite a bit of time, to be honest.
I mean, it'd be smart. And what, a disc issue and then the whole fucking coma thing. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, does she
take
even
it
fight
easy.
again? Because she's not young,
No, no.
and she's been in a shit ton of fights.
Yeah, it's just kind of,
That
yeah, just
was
kind
an
of,
unfortunate situation.
yeah,
It's so crazy. It happened so fast.
yeah. So
Um, but no, I don't think that they should make that fight again. I think that eventually, which I hope happens soon, Martinez and Batara fight each other.
yeah, that'd be a good one.
All right, so UFC 4 Lauderdale. There were 2 fights. We'll start with Angela Hill. Angela Hill beat Jodie Escobar by unanimous decision. Hill looked great.
Yeah, she did. She really. I don't feel like you couldn't really tell that she was coming on short notice. That looked like a
Right.
very like
Like
for
she
a
had she had a whole camp.
for a quickly thrown together game plan. It
Mhm.
looked like it was thought out. I mean, she fought very smart. Um, really, this is how I thought of it. I thought of it as kind of one of those bull and matador type performances. Where Jody was the bull, she was coming forward the whole time.
She
But
looks really good too, by the
yeah,
way.
Jody didn't look bad. The problem was just like,
She was chasing, like you said, the bull. She was
mhm.
chasing.
Yeah, and a lot of people pointed out it wasn't really a new development or anything, but like she's just too short and small for the division. And Angie just had the speed, and her mobility has always been great. That accompanied by the range advantage she had just made it so difficult for
Yeah.
Jody to get in and consistently land enough good shots without getting hit, because every time she came in, it was just
She
Angie
would
was
get
there.
pop shot.
Boom,
It would be
boom,
pop
boom.
shots back from from Angela Hill. I mean,
Yeah.
It, it was like watching Shevchenko fight.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
pretty.
it was the counter punches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, she fought really well.
Smart fight.
Something. Yeah, yeah, very good. And saved her job, which sucks for Jody because she's. I'd be surprised if they keep her now, which sucks because she still is, a solid fighter, and it's just,
She's really good.
it's like, bring in the atom weights, back to the atom weights, because if she can make it, because she's kind of thick, I'm sure she could, just because her frame in general. Um, Man, she'd be a threat at atom weight. Where the smaller girls. Um, but yeah, it's a bummer in that case. But great performance from Angie. Good to see her. In the win column again after a rough skid there. Even though, I mean, that fucking what the Casey fight was before the Marcos fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one was questionable. So either way, even with the controversy, it's good to see a very solid, clear performance from her, especially on short notice. So yeah, it was good. I mean, I enjoyed that fight. Yeah.
Good fight.
Yeah.
All right. So Carla Esparza did beat Virna Jandiroba by unanimous decision. Um, talk about a game plan. Esparza for sure put one together
This was, yeah. I
for
mean,
Jandiroba.
this was a really good fight, though. I will say that. I the thing here, I think, was that um, Carla's the willingness to engage in the wrestling so much. I think it kind of
It did.
threw off Verna's general plan of setting up the grappling with her striking, which that's usually how she does it. She sets you up, makes you think you're gonna. I say this all the time, but it's the truth. Sets you up with her striking, make you think she's gonna strike until she hits a takedown. And she still had moments of that same exact success, primarily in the second round. Um, and we saw her on her back and working. It's funny, I thought of this too. We call her the strawweight Damian Maya because that's a very accurate comparison. I thought of it while I was watching the fight. I was like, fuck, man, Damian Maya versus elite wrestlers. So I was like, there's been kind of the kryptonite there a bit. And it's like, oh, General was kind of having this here. But then I was like, no, can't make that same comparison because I really do think that this fight was a whole lot closer, particularly the third round, because it was first round was Carla, second round Jandiroba.
I
Third
think,
round,
yeah.
third round was very close. I wasn't really scoring when I watched because I wasn't watching live. I
Right.
watched it on replay, but I think that third round definitely could have gone to Jandiroba. It
I
was
think so too.
very close,
I
very
think so
close.
too.
And on the feet, Jandiroba was getting the better of most exchanges. Of course, she got hit with
Yes.
a big front kick, kind of a shin, kind of the chin, kind of. She was too close, so it kind of went there. I think that was in the third, but that was definitely Carla's most significant strike on the feet. But yeah, Jandiroba, she didn't do bad. Let's say that she didn't do bad at all. But obviously, she didn't do as good as we expected her to. She had to go through obvious adversities, but no, she still did very well. And proved that she is indeed a top fighter, like we have all been saying she is. Just just came down to just little things, just a certain control positions. And yeah, man, I totally see the argument for her winning the fight. Um, and I think like, man, if only we had two more rounds, what would have happened? She was the champ. Like,
I think Esparza, she put on a really good game plan for the jiu-jitsu. She clearly showed that she wasn't scared to go
yeah,
in
which was good. And
on
I
him.
did like that she said that after the fight. Like I knew that I needed to start fighting not like I was scared because
Right.
after the Joanna fight, we could see the fear that was put into her kind of for fighting. Like what was I think she fought Lima directly after Joanna, right? And gosh, she just looked so terrified to strike at all. So she just went, just right for her bread and butter with the wrestling. And it was kind of like that the fight after that. But then, she just slowly kind of started getting more fearless. And she definitely showed that she wasn't scared to play around in Jandiroba's guard in
Right.
this one. So
Very
yeah,
good win for Esparza, though. I mean,
yeah, huge
obviously, you and I are very high on Jandiroba.
first loss.
Esparza is the former champion. I mean, she still has the skills.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that doesn't make it a bad loss for Jandiroba either.
I don't think so either. I mean, Esparza is the former champion. So,
Yeah.
and she's one of the best in the division.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly.
Obviously, yeah, you don't because just wait till you see somebody. If you like the matchups, this was kind of a matchup thing. There's not many wrestlers like Carla in the division. You put Jandiroba against someone who doesn't have as good a wrestling like that, you're gonna see a vintage performance from her, right? I mean,
I agree. Yes.
so like I know you're gonna like this, but Carolina versus Jandiroba. How
Do
you
it. Fucking do it.
I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say how that would go at the moment.
Yeah, Carolina has no chance against that jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I mean, it's a problem, man. It's still a problem, and that could very nice. Yeah, it could have been a win for her. It was
It could have
really
been, but I mean, Esparza
not a
did
bad
really
loss.
well. So I mean, you
Yeah,
can't really
can't
take
take credit away from
from Esparza.
Mm-hmm.
Just tough loss for Jandiroba.
Yeah. I think it'll be good though for her in the end because, then she gets any sort of pressure of, even though she didn't really she was so humble, she didn't really think of her having the pressure from being undefeated and champion and all that. So still good though to not even have that thought of like, oh, when's my first loss going to come? Like Alima Lay, always thinking about that. Even though it works for her very well. So yeah, it just kind of gets some weight off the shoulders. And a learning experience, just going to get better. I mean, she's already great as is. So yeah.
Right. All right. Speaking of Elimele, McFarlane, Bellator 220. We were both there this past Saturday night in San Jose at the Shark Tank.
Mm-hmm.
Elimele McFarlane, the champion, beat Vita Ortega by a nasty hell blow that ended up cutting Ortega and blooding her entire face like it was a horror movie. The fight went to doctor stoppage in round 3. McFarlane wasn't happy with the win just because she didn't like that it was stopped by the doctor. I think she was really hard on herself. She was getting beat. She was getting beat.
Yeah. I mean,
and then it's the third round again. There she goes.
Dude, it's funny because I was sitting next to Garrett Davies, and I was telling him because obviously she was struggling in the first 2 rounds. Like, this is when she turns it up, though, man. Always the third round is when she comes on the strongest.
Yeah.
There you go. It was really kind of. It's funny. It's a vintage Lima because she, I did think she won the second round, even though the judges gave.
I think so too. I think she did too. Yeah.
I thought it was 1-1, but either way, she's a slow starter. She always has been.
Yep.
She doesn't like that she is, but it's just kind of has been the story. And
that's just the way it is. She says that she doesn't like that. She doesn't like that she's such a slow starter. Well, I change it then. I mean, I know it's like easier said than done, but like that you're a slow starter. Do something about that. Fucking go in. I mean, but honestly though, she did go in. She went Ortega right off the bell.
I think it was more of honestly Vita's relentlessness in this one because
scrappy, dude, scrappy.
Because I mean, who knows if we had if Vita was less aggressive. That's just how she is, though. Put her against somebody else, just anybody else, because not many people are as aggressive as Vita. Maybe this would have been the fight where we see Alima really come on strong, faster, quicker. But it was within, I want to say 10 seconds, Vita came right at her, just like like fucking Rory did in the beginning of that fight too. Immediately just pushed it on, and then Aleem was kind of forced to, engage and went for a takedown early on and clinched up against the cage. So yeah, with the style, I think it didn't help Aleem wanting to speed things up.
But she knew going in that Vita was
that's true.
one of those fighters that are just relentless, and she wants that dirty fight.
Yeah, exactly.
She got that dirty fight.
Yeah, no kidding.
In the third round. Fuck.
Dude.
That elbow was sick. So she just fucking dropped it. Boom! Dropped it, and it just, blood started streaming down Vita's face.
It was crazy because nobody realized that she was cut until she got up.
Alimale was like, I felt it.
Mm-hmm. Well, oh my God, dude, have you... I didn't hear it when it happened because, it was so loud in the crowd.
I heard the clip. Yes.
You watched the video when you can hear the clacking? I was like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
She said that she felt it in her
elbow. I was like, oh. Dude, it is such a gnarly sound. I don't know if I've ever heard a strike sound like that before. It's just so... Oh man, it's gnarly. It's like one of those deep crunch, like not a crunch, but it's like that, I don't know how to describe it.
It was bone against bone.
Exactly. Yeah. Fuck, dude. Yeah.
Because that's literally the sharpest bone that we have in our body.
Mm-hmm.
The elbow right there.
Directly in the center of the forehead. Yeah. Yep. But, they both looked good, I think you could say. I don't know if I'd say Alimale's best performance, and I think that you could say that it was I don't know, Vita she really showed up as she always does. She's not one of those fighters that's really intimidated, obviously. No.
We're gonna see this fight again. Alimale called. She said it that she said that Vita deserves another shot. They're gonna make that fight again. She said Hawaii.
Yeah, that's the hope, but
that's what she wants. Obviously she wants
to go home. Of course, why not? Yeah,
but
I'm not sure about that. I don't know. Coker didn't seem too sure about it, and then afterward, Alimale, she was kind of like, it was still a win. I caused the cut, so it's like
for sure,
kind of like after the moment of it happening.
That's definitely a win, man.
No fluky at all.
No.
And I was even telling her after the fight and everything, like it was a legit win. It wasn't like a fluke cut. Like I was comparing it to Randy versus Vitor to the first fight. Like happened in 47 seconds. Like it's kind of a bullshit win.
Yeah.
Like the first punch accidentally cuts him bad enough. No. This was like she meant to do that. It wasn't like an accident. So definitely a legitimate win. She was getting booed because of that, which I thought was silly.
Yeah, but honestly, all right. So the fans at that event, they were booing McDonald and Fitch too, like fucking crazy. That was a beautiful fight, dude, from Fitch.
Yeah.
Maybe we didn't see like Rory McDonald, the violent, the Red King, I guess. We didn't see that Rory McDonald, but he did really well against Fitch, who fucking wrestled the fuck out of him.
Well, dude, yeah, it was vintage Fitch, man. And we have to talk about this fight just because it's one of those fights that you can't not talk about. But yeah, Rory, he did very well on the feet. It was pretty much your Fitch was the ground.
It was Rory on the feet and Fitch on the ground.
Yeah.
Which you would expect, to be honest, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's if you didn't think that, because it was like the question: can Fitch get him down?
He fucking. It was 5 rounds of getting him down.
Yeah. So okay, now we got to talk about this though, just real quick. Obviously, not women's fighters, but Fitch won that fight, right?
Yeah. Oh, totally. I had Fitch winning that fight. I was pissed. I was pissed off for Fitch. I was like, dude. I was telling my buddy that I went to the fights with. I was like, dude, Fitch has to win this fight, right? Like that was all Fitch. He fucking controlled the whole fight. That was his fight. That was a wrestler's fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then they called it, and I was like, oh, they stole that from Fitch. Like Fitch could have retired right there as
That,
a
yeah.
champion.
Yeah.
In San Jose, he fucking trains at AKA right up the street from the arena.
Yeah. It's a bummer because the draw's still like a loss for him because Rory goes on, It's such a
Tough,
bummer.
man.
And he said that his next loss will be his retirement, but he didn't lose. So it's like, what the fuck do I do? That's what he was saying in the post-fight presser. But yeah, dude, this was the biggest thing I noticed. Everybody in the arena agrees Fitch won that fight, right? But
I mean,
I don't know.
no, there were people around me that thought that Rory probably won, and I mean, I didn't see that.
Mhm.
Twitter saw that.
That's what I was gonna say. Seems like people who watched it on TV, they think it was Rory, which I
Right.
found very interesting.
Right.
And I think that just comes down to, man, they don't understand that the impact of the shots he was still doing on the ground. Maybe they weren't, those fucking crazy like looping, smashing punches, but man, you can hear the damage that they're doing when you're there in person. That was a huge takeaway I had from seeing the reactions of people like, oh, he didn't do shit in the third round, which was when he got a 10-8, which rightfully was a 10-8. I see people arguing that wasn't a 10-8 and shit. It's like, dude, Rory didn't do anything. He was getting beat up the whole time. I mean, you can just look at his face too after the fight. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I think it was, I don't know. I felt like it was pretty clearly Fitch. I gave him 4 rounds, honestly, but I had round 4 as a 10-10 because that was the one where it was like, whoa, that was a close one. And then round 3 a 10-8. I mean, I don't know, man. It's so rough. It sucks for him. That's really the biggest thing. It's such a bummer for him.
That did suck for Fitch. I mean, you can tell that he was kind of bummed about that loss.
Well, dude, the fact that he's even able to be competitive and arguably beat the number 3 guy in the world at welterweight still at age 41, like,
yep.
Okay, man. I mean, that's wildly impressive. Yeah.
Tough loss for Fitch. I mean,
it's pretty much a loss. Yeah. Not technically, but pretty much. So.
All right. So moving on to what we have this week. We'll start with UFC Ottawa. Macy Chiasson will take on Sarah Morris. This is all Macy. I mean,
I know. We don't have much more to say about this that we haven't already said, which wasn't a lot in the first place. Yeah, I mean, Morris's one hope here is kind of like a Hail Mary submission at some point. I don't see her getting it down. She's not too strong of a wrestler.
right.
She has solid submissions usually, but it's like every fight starts standing. Macy's a fucking tank on a mission right now. I think it should be fast and ugly. Yeah, I think it's another. There's really not much more to say. Just another highlight to her highlight reel. I think first round knockout. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I agree. She's so strong.
Yeah,
she's really gifted.
I mean, Gina Mazzani is not an easy person to knock stiff. All right, she knocked her clean out.
Right.
That was wild. Gina Mazzani 8 punches from Sarah McMahon. That's a great comparison to make there. Fucking Macy put her out. Yikes.
Yeah. This is going to be a tough fight for Sarah Morris.
Yeah. I want to see the fucking odds on this one because I feel like this is a pretty unanimous feeling about this matchup. That would be massive for Morris if you can win, obviously, but good luck. Good luck to you.
Yeah. It's a tough fight, man. Okay, so we're finishing off with the big one. Invicta FC Phoenix Rising 1. It's a strawweight tournament for the now vacant strawweight title. It wasn't originally supposed to be for the strawweight title, but Virna Jandiroba went to the UFC. Former champion went to the UFC. Now there is no champion. So
Gotta have a champion.
now it's for the strawweight title, which makes it even better. And not that it wasn't cool and great already, but
Mhm.
I mean now there's a title belt.
Yes, it's finally here. And to note, this is actually a day before the UFC. Um, yeah, I can't wait, man. I cannot wait.
I know
So,
when they originally announced this thing, there was excitement from you and I. Like,
I mean, anybody should be excited about this format. I've seen people say that the fucking one round first two, the semifinals and quarterfinals is stupid, but it's like, this is literally the only way, the most perfect way you can do this in America because of the 25-minute rule. You
right.
know, fighters aren't allowed to fight more than 25 minutes in a night. So, you know, if at max, these fighters can go 5 rounds in a night in 3 fights is what this is. It's the best way to do it. You can't. I mean, it's just silly to be mad at that kind of thing
I agree.
because this should be fucking all entertainment with the bonuses that come along with everything. Just the format. I mean, you could put anyone in there, but the people that are in there are exciting choices. So I am excited for it.
All right, so I'm gonna run down the fights. Mizuki Inui will be taking on Sharon Jacobson. Janessa Moranjan will be taking on Brianna Van Buren. Danielle Taylor will fight Juliana Lima, and then Kaylin Curran will take on Suna Davidsdorf.
Yep,
Let's start
and
with
no bracket.
right, no bracket. Yep. And then Kay Hansen and Magdalena Soramova is the fifth fight, and one of them, if anything happens to one of the other fighters, they either Hansen or Samova can step in.
Isn't I think that Amber Brown and Kolakar are the alternates actually. I
I thought it
think
was
on the graphic that's what it shows.
oh,
Which I'm cool with that. I'm happy. I mean, as we were saying before that we even started, Kay Hansen 100% should be in this tournament since she beat Sharon Jacobson.
yes. Kay Hansen should definitely be in this tournament.
Weird move, but I really like Manjeet Kolakar though. It's good to see her back in Invicta. She was fighting over in I think in either her home of India or just other places in Europe. A really fun prospect from India specifically, and Amber Brown, you know, kind of a veteran. So it's just such a fun night of strawweight action, you know. And Itzel Esquivel is also back, kicking off the action. It looks like here, if this card's in order on Tapology. But yes, as for the actual tournament, we're gonna start with Mizuki, then Jacobson.
Yes. So, all right. You have Mizuki winning?
Yeah, I do. But it's interesting though because you know these first 2 rounds are so critical because of the first 2 round fights. I mean, I should say
Right.
quarterfinals, semifinals. And you know that one round does favor a wrestler style, you know.
Definitely.
And Sharon Jacobson obviously can wrestle. We've seen Mizuki's had some trouble with wrestling in the past. I mean, most recently against Verna, but that's, I mean, of course. And, but I mean, then the fight after that, her last fight against Viviane Pereira, you know, she just looked so good in that fight. Fucking, there's a fly in here. So I think that, I don't know. I'm not too worried. I think, man, I think that Jacobson, she should come in pretty fired up though, and realizing like, don't do anything stupid like last time when you had the fight in the bank against Kay. Like she dominated Kay with ease,
Yep.
and just
She got caught.
brain shut off and threw a fucking double arm
Yeah, she got
belly to
caught.
belly. Just such a crazy way to lose a fight.
Yeah, that. I think that loss probably still has to kill her.
Oh my God, seriously.
Talk about tough losses.
Yeah, one of the toughest. I mean, you could see the emotion right after that for both fighters. That was one of those fights where it's like, that's one of those thrill and agony fights. Just like, oh man. But yeah, I mean, Mizuki, and Morangen, who we'll talk about after this one. They're my two favorites to win this, but this is definitely a very hard opener for Mizuki to get. And shameless plug of the week here. Mizuki. I talked to her recently. I'll be dropping that one this week. Stay tuned. If it's not out already by the time this goes out. She realizes that too. She's like, what'd she say? She said that obviously wrestlers are going to be favored in these first 2 months, and she's like, oh, and then I get the toughest wrestler, the best wrestler to start things off.
Right.
Her opinion. I mean, she's definitely one of them, but there's Lima's in there. So yeah, I mean, I think that she's good enough at keeping the distance. She's a great boxer, that she'll be able to, and her defensive wrestling obviously improved in that last fight. I think that, it's definitely, I still have her winning this opening round, and then, could very easily make it to the finals depending on how things go. That's the excitement. We have no idea who could be next for her afterwards. But yeah, it'll be a really tricky opener, I think, just because of, that wrestling that does go into her favor. But, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Mizuki controlled her too, because she was able to do that to Pereira in her last fight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's hard for me not to go against Mizuki. She's just so well-rounded when Jacobson's mostly just going to be wrestling here.
I think that's the thing about Mizuki is she's got literally everything.
Yeah.
She has, I mean, what really can we say that she needs to work on?
I mean, I would say probably the takedown defense, but then again, it looked very improved in that last fight.
She's really gotten really better at that.
I think it's Sarah Longo, man. Just from that one, still new training with them, but
right. But can you imagine she's actually had a full camp with them?
Yeah.
For this tournament.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's hard not for her to be a favorite. It's going to be good.
All right. So, Morangen and Van Buren.
This one, I feel a bit more. Well, I feel confident about the other one too, but Morangen, she's rebounding off the title fight loss, which was a tough one for her. I feel like she's going to be very motivated. She's arguably going to be the most physically strong one here. I think it's a tie between her and Danielle Taylor, just when it comes to strength, as a physically strong athlete. Because, just one of those stocky, thick, tank kind of fighters. So I don't think that she can be muscled around by Van Buren if Van Buren tries to take it there. I wouldn't be surprised if Morangen ended up, imposing her will here. And she's got knockout power. She's just strong, man. She's just one of those strong fighters at strawweight. And, I'd probably say she's most likely going to be the one, this fight between both of them, because Van Buren can hit too, and strike and all that. I think that this is most likely the one that has the best chance of getting that fastest finish award to, pick who you fight next,
right?
Which is one of the things. So yeah, I mean, that's going to be a fun one, but yeah, it's hard for me not to pick Morangen in this matchup.
Same. I really like Morangen. I mean, obviously in the whole tournament, I like Morangen a lot, but specifically in this fight, I think
good opener for her.
I think this is, out of all of them, this might be the easiest matchup for her.
Yeah, I mean, it's the inexperience too for Van Buren compared to.
Not that Van Buren isn't good. She
just
isn't as good as Morangen, and Morangen is phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely bright futures for both. I think Van Buren's a good prospect, but Morangen's just
and that's why she's in this tournament.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Morangen, she's got kind of had a speedy growth. Like, it's just been obvious that she's improving with every fight, even in the losses. It's like she's gonna learn like crazy from those, especially considering who they were too. Which always talk about this as well. But two of the best strawweights right now in the world, Jandiroba and Livia Souza. So yeah, man, definitely a good choice if you're betting on her to be the winner.
Definitely. All right, so Juliana Lima and Danielle Taylor.
This one, I think, is it's it might be the most interesting with the one round with
I
the
have
one
it.
round
I
format.
have this fight being it's the most even
Yeah, 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 yeah.
out of all four fights. It's the most even fight.
I completely agree with that. Definitely. Um,
But but Juliana Lima is the dark horse in this tournament.
yeah,
She won't be the favorite, but and she probably isn't the second favorite,
hmm
but she should be the third favorite, I think.
I
She
think that
and
if
on a good day, she can beat Moranjan.
hmm I think that it's one of those picks that's like it's she's one of those cases where you know after everything's over, people will be like, "Oh, why didn't we think she'd win in the first place?" Like it could be like
Yeah,
that
it
if she
could be.
goes on to win
Yep.
because yeah, her grappling and her experience. The experience mainly, we've said it's going to be a big edge for her compared to everyone. She's just fought so many people. Um, Gadella and, Joanna, Miranda, the list goes on, really fought everybody.
Yeah, she's fought a lot of UFC fighters. I mean, that are really good.
Yeah, Teppy Top. Tisha even, like, yeah, I mean, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Taylor also has fought, some solid competition, but not the same.
No,
Obviously,
not the same.
since coming to the UFC, kind of really underperformed. That's just not really a question. And I didn't even think she was that great in her last fight either, honestly. Her Invicta debut. But now we're here, and this one round is very interesting. I think that, okay, this is going to depend a lot on two things. Can Lima get a hold of her, right? Because Taylor is very just kind of moving around, just very kind of like a jitterbug.
And she's strong.
Yes, but she does not throw a lot.
Right.
She does. She saves up for that power shot. She makes it very clear that she wants that one hitter quitter, which does not come very often. So, with that mix of things in one round, it's gonna. I feel like it's either who can Lima land on her enough because Taylor's probably not going to outstrike her, right? Just the lack of output that puts out, lack of output that she puts out. So
Right.
no, not much output. And then if Lima can make that even less of a factor by getting in close and controlling her, because the size here is in favor of Lima, but then the strength is probably in favor of Taylor, which is
I would
funny
think
how that
so.
works. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, this is a really weird one.
So who do you have winning?
Yeah. Now that I think about it that way, um, man, it's really tough actually. I'm gonna go Taylor, but
Ooh.
it's gonna be
Okay.
really close. Just that one round makes, and with that, that clash of the, because I think those are the two biggest factors. Tell me if I'm wrong though.
No, I mean, I don't think that you're wrong. I just think that Lima is the
I hear
better
you.
fighter.
Totally hear. Yeah.
And I mean, it but you're right though. The one round thing kind of like throws fights off.
Yeah.
If this fight was 2 rounds, it would for sure go to Lima. Like
Yep.
you and I both would be like, okay, Lima's winning this fight, you know.
Yeah.
But it's only 1 round, and Daniel Taylor could come out just fucking going for that kill shot
Yeah.
because that's what she does anyway.
If she does that though, I feel like that's helpful to Lima because then she's coming at her, gives her a better chance of getting her down. So it's a mix kind of. Um, we'll see. That I'm a lot more excited for that now that we're talking about it because out of
It's
the
a good fight.
fights, I wasn't really thinking about that one too much. But yeah, man, that's
But like I
interesting.
said, I mean, I have Juliana Lima as the dark horse in the fight, so I have Lima winning this fight.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's totally fair. Yeah, it's funny though because I feel like Taylor advancing. Let's say she advances. She fights any of these other people, I probably won't favor her. I don't know with the one round. But I don't know Lima. It's just the grappling, obviously the edge there, but
Okay, so with that said, you don't have Daniel Taylor favored.
Winning, no, over Morangen and Mizuki.
Okay, but there's another fight.
Okay, yeah.
Kaylin Curran and Suna Davisdor.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we both agree that Suna's going to win this one.
Yeah, but do you have Danielle Taylor beating Davisdor? Would you have
No,
Taylor? No, you
No,
would.
David Daughter is my dark horse for this one, my sleeper pick.
Okay.
Even though I do like that Lima one, I think that's a great choice by you. But yeah, David's Daughter. My problem here with her having her as my sleeper is the inactivity. You know, she's coming in rusty, or I mean, just inactive. She hasn't fought in
Yeah, she hasn't fought in like 3 years or something like that.
yeah, a good while.
It's been
But
forever.
she's been training a syndicate recently, which is I feel like could totally cancel that out. Training with JoJo and Roxy pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Great training partners there. And you know, she's a little ball of fire, really fast striker. Kaylin, you know, is kind of wild. An interesting choice to have in this tournament over Kay Hansen.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. But
Soon is going to be. I think we're going to see it significantly faster in this matchup because she's a very speedy striker.
Mhm.
She can also grapple a good bit, but her striking is kind of what gets her to the dance. And Curran's just kind of, you know, wild all over the place unless she's sharpened up in preparation for this fight. Could see, but yeah, this would
she has
be
talent. Curran definitely has talent.
We've seen it from her.
Yeah.
Even though her one UFC win was a Hail Mary win. You remember that? Was that the Chambers fight where she was losing until the very end?
Yep.
But anyways, yeah, Caitlin's also, she's usually in it for the most part too. So yeah, it's kind of interesting with one round, but I think this Suna is just too sharp and technical, man. She's really kind of one of those strikers. I mean, these Icelandic fighters, like she's kind of strawweight gunner a little bit, I want to say. Not the same level of grappling, but striking fairly similar. Her output is a lot higher than gunners, but if I'm going to make Iceland comparisons, because there's not many of those. So yeah, definitely going Suna here. And then
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then we don't know what will happen.
And then we don't know what happens after that.
But
okay, so rank the top four then.
Okay,
Mizuki's 1.
Mm-hmm.
Morangen 2?
Yes. And
okay,
then
so do you go Suna or do you go Lima?
In round 2. So we got to think about it. After these people have fought already, right? They've fought one round already. So then after that, I feel like Mizuki, I feel like I can go all day. Definitely number 1.
For sure.
Doesn't matter there. Morangen, more so, but more likely to slow down. We've never seen her go 5 rounds. David's Daughter, I feel like her gassing's probably pretty good. So is Lima. You know, she's experienced. She's been able to hang in those long, gritty fights.
Yeah.
So because of that, I think that I'd actually, even though Soon is my dark horse sleeper, I'd put her at the bottom and go 1 Mizuki, 2 Morangen, and then 3 Lima, just because of, you know, the style pretty much. Her style is so good for this tournament. Like, which is a reasonable.
That's how I have it. Is Mizuki 1, Morangen 2, Lima 3, Suna 4.
Yeah.
But all of those matchups are really good though. Like when you put them against each other, Morangen. I think in the end, like I really want to see Mizuki and Morangen.
Yes. But also, it's funny we say that.
But we can see that in the second round.
Yeah, very true. It'll be potentially random depending on finishes.
Depending on things.
Which is why it's so great. But we gotta talk about this though real quick because I had Taylor, you know, winning the Lima one. So if you swap Taylor and Lima, I'd probably in that case still top 2's the same. I feel like Taylor and Suna's a bit closer of a spotting on 3 and 4. Suna, the output, I got to put her at 3 over Taylor. She's more active, man. I feel like that's going to be a big part going against Taylor after the Lima fight. Right. You know, because Lima's not super aggressive in her striking either. So yeah. So if Taylor's in there, I put her at the bottom. If Lima's in there, I put Soon at the bottom. So, but man, it's so exciting. It is so much more exciting when you break it down this way.
I know it's great for Invicta and these fighters already. Like, it's a great thing. But like when you start thinking about the matchups, like the possibilities and stuff, like damn, this is gonna be fun fucking night.
Yeah. I think that I want to see in the semifinals, we'll get to your pick after this. I think that I want to see the most. I want to see Mizuki and Lima, and then Janesa versus Suna. That's assuming Lima gets in. If Taylor's in, then same thing, Mizuki, Taylor, Ranjan David's daughter. I don't know, what do you think? You shuffle that up, or does that sound good?
No, yeah, I think that sounds good. But in the end, like, I do want
Mizuki, Ranjan, yeah.
But
yeah,
honestly, though, I would be happy with seeing Lima and Ranjan, or Lima and Mizuki too.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I mean, there's just so many fucking possibilities. I was gonna say, who does the fastest finisher not pick? We're like, okay, that's way too open-ended. Like, you can't even think about that.
Right. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with the fastest finish.
Yeah. And if there is none, then it's random. I mean,
yep.
I want it now. I want it now, dude. I want more of these. Like, even though this one hasn't even happened yet.
This is number 1, so that means that they're doing more.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh fuck. I'm so excited.
I know. It's great. Plus
the other fights.
Plus the people that are actually calling these fights.
That too.
Fuck, dude, Larasenko and Jimmy Smith.
Yes.
Man.
You're good.
Yeah, it's a good night of fights for sure. Like, I don't see how MMA fans wouldn't watch this.
Yeah, I know, dude. That's the whole thing. Like, just, it's so unique. It is so fucking unique. Get over the fact that it's chicks, if that's your problem, because people still hate on women's fighters.
Yeah,
today.
but are the people that are hating on women's fighting, are they really listening to you and I talk? I know. Anyway.
No, they're not. But I'm just saying, when it comes to, if you're gonna watch this tournament, fucking give it a chance, dude. Just because it's so goddamn unique, man. I mean, there's never been anything like this, especially in the modern day.
Right.
So, I mean, I cannot wait for it. Man, and the more I think about it, I'm really feeling like that Lima pick is going to come in handy for you because after going through the 2 fights, whoever she fights is okay. Hypothetically, was to fight in the finals. I think she'll be able to be fine, and after the other 2 have been through fights, depending on it, just so many variables. But
it just depends. It just depends on that second fight.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so amped.
All right, so Kay Hansen.
Right.
Kay Hansen and Magdalena.
I'm out of energy now.
But I think it's safe to say that both you and I think that Kay Hansen wins this fight.
Not easily, though.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be easily. Magdalena, number 2 prospect in Poland, I'm seeing here. And rightfully so. Very, very good prospect.
But I mean, Kay Hansen is a beast.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Kay she's never out of a fight, obviously. You saw that last one. But yeah, no, that's definitely a great matchup. I mean, I like literally every single one of these fights, even the other ones that aren't in the tournament. The Brown Kolakar, I really like that one. Kron and Esquivel. Dude, they're just doing this so right. But yeah, as for Hansen and Sarmova, yeah, I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be really tough for Kay. I love Kay. She's one of my favorite prospects in Invicta. I think she's a lot of people's.
Yeah, she should be.
Yeah, always wants to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are high on her for good reason. No reason not to be, really. Especially for how young she is and how high of a a level she can compete at. Yeah, this one's gonna be close. Yeah, I do give her the edge. I'll say maybe like a split decision. I think it's gonna be a fun, close one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Kay Hansen is incredibly talented.
I think she's gonna be more gritty, which will be the difference maker.
Yeah, I think so too.
Sturdier.
I mean, she's only getting better now. I mean, she's so young still.
Yeah,
She's only getting better. So,
exactly.
oh, we haven't even seen the best from her yet.
Yeah, I know. Same with Mizuki. Just to
Right.
throw in young fighters, right?
Yeah.
Fucking insane.
And she's like the overall favorite for this tournament.
It's absolutely nuts. And yeah, as I said before we went on air again, 24 years old, 9 years, almost 10 of fighting, insane. It's insane experience for that age.
Yeah.
That's the most that's more than DC, isn't it? DC's been fighting for like when did he start? I don't know. He might be the same, which is fucking crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously,
Well, he was also wrestling forever.
yeah, maybe that's a bad comparison, but there's
Yeah.
a lot of people who are older than her. It's more than Megan Anderson. It's more than a lot of people. I mean, that's the first person I thought of.
Right.
Sorry, Megan, kind of throw you under the bus there. But yeah, man.
Great night of fights. The Invicta. Man. Yeah. All right. So that's it for this week's WMMA Today podcast. Go watch those fights, especially the Invicta tournament, the Phoenix Rising tournament. If there's any fights that you're gonna watch those this weekend. I think. I mean, all right. Thank you for watching Jake and I talk women's fighting. We'll see you guys next week.